Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'd like to talk to you about something that's very near and dear to my heart. When I look at the numbers, I just think, oh my goodness, what you could do with that money if you weren't spending it on coffee. So I looked up online, did some research because I don't go to like any of the coffee houses. I maybe if I'm really desperate, if I'm driving home, like have a 3 hour drive or something, and I don't think I'm gonna be wide awake, I might stop and get a coffee, but I'll try to get it at like some place that I know isn't too expensive. I actually had a McDonald's coffee already because my daughter said, "Oh, their coffee's not bad, Mom, in a pinch." And so I did have a McDonald's coffee, but it's like pulling, like it's like, oh, I really don't want to pay for that, because it's just such a it's an expense. So after I go through what I researched, hopefully it will make sense as to what I'm saying. So I was thinking like the average latte out, like at one of these places, nameless places, would be about $5 for a latte or a frappuccino or something. But actually, the national average for a I'm just going to do a frappuccino right now. $5.29 is the low end. $7.45 is the high end for just a frappuccino. So I broke this down into 30 days, and then I broke it into a year, 12 months. But 30 days, I had to do it for I did it for 30 days to get a month like cost. And then I took the amount, like the $5.29 on the low end, and figured out how much that would cost for 365 days. And then I took it times 10 years. So for the $5.29, well, here, we'll do the $7 one first. Well, okay. The $5.29 example would cost for 30 days $158.70. Now, the $5.29 cup of coffee or frappuccino or whatever times 12 months, which would be 365 days. Not if I used the number for the 30 days, it would be 360 days. So I had to do it individually. So for 12 months, it was $1,930.85. And 10 years for the $5.29 cup of coffee or frappuccino, $19,308.50. And I'm looking at it like I have another example down below where I'm going to talk about something else that relates to this. But let me just talk about the $7.45 cup of coffee. So that particular example for 30 days is $223.50. So $7.45 times 365 is $2,719.25, and times 10 years is $27,192.50. And that's a lot of money. So I did calculate out the $2.95 cup of coffee, which is just a normal old regular coffee that, no fancy stuff in it. So 30 days, it's $88.50. A year, it's $1,076.75. And 10 years, $10,767.50. Okay? So if I made this at home, the average cup of coffee, depending on what kind of coffee you get, it could be something inexpensive. It could be like something very expensive, like one of these places sells your own coffee that you can actually take home. That's going to be on the higher end. So coffee at home costs in between 25 cents a cup to 75 cents a cup. So if you're making it at home, 1 month of the 25 cents coffee. Now that's one coffee a day, okay? We're just doing the one coffee a day experiment. $22.50 if you make it at home for the 25-cent lower end cup of coffee. 12 months, 91.25. Oh, excuse me, I fiddled up. It's $7.50 for the 25 cents cup of coffee. So let's start over. The 25 cents cup of coffee at home is $7.50 per 30 days for one cup of coffee a day at 25 cents. For 12 months, it's $91.25. And for 10 years, it's $912.50. So the higher end of that, which is the 75 cents a day, is 22. That's where the 22.50 comes in. Sorry about the confusion. 22.50 for the 75 cents cup of coffee a day for 30 days. For 1 year, it's $273.75, and for 10 years, it's $2,737.50. Some people say $2,700.37. But anyway, so those are the numbers. So what I did, I figured out an amortization schedule, which is like if you buy a home, say it's $300,000, that's the example I'm using, $300,000 times 30 years. And like the rates are, I just checked with my son-in-law online. And so I'm going to estimate the rate right now, 6.75. Okay. So $300,000 loan, 30 years, 6.75% interest over the life of the loan. So how many months can you cut out of your amortization schedule, your payments for principal only, with the $7.45 cup of coffee out? That's the high end. That's the one that was $27,192.50. So how many payments can you cut out if you had $27,192.50? You could cut out 83 mortgage payments out of 360. That is insane. So I the closest I could get was 27,226.14, which is a little higher than the 27,192.50. But the $5.29 cup of coffee, that total was 19,308.50. The closest I could get was 19,463.91. And that would have cut out 63 mortgage payments. So it's just something to think about. Like, of course you wouldn't have $27,000 cash to put on your mortgage at one time in this scenario from buying a cup of coffee. It's just an example of how much it over and beyond it is over the price than you can make at home. And that's just one example. We've got eating out. We've got all kinds of buying things on not on sale when you're in the supermarket, not eating before you go out to the supermarket. I've done that already. That's why I know I overspent just $25, but I was not very happy with myself because I'm pretty disciplined. So, but I just thought it was a really good example of overspending, and plus you have to go to those places. I went over to the store the other day, and there's one of these coffee places there in the middle of the parking lot, and I looked and I thought, oh my gosh, these people were all the way around the building, and then they went all throughout the parking lot, like the line to get coffee. I bet you that line, well, I waited in line at one of these places with my girls and I was not very happy. It was probably 20 minutes and I was like, I'm not doing this. Why are we doing this? You know, I did it for them because they wanted to go through the line. But I just don't see I don't see I don't see the reasoning with it. You're wasting time, the money aspect of it. Yes, you know, it's good, you know, maybe you get like used to that particular flavor, but once you start drinking this coffee out, you're drinking it out all the time. You have a particular flavor that you want. Of course, they're going to put stuff in it that tastes really good, but you're paying for that. So now all of a sudden, that high end coffee is normal. That's what you normally drink. It becomes standard everyday practice. So it's not special anymore. Maybe if you got it once a month, you know, $5 times, you know, 12 is $60. I mean, that's nothing, you know, compared to what I just went through. So it's just something to think about, you know, something that I'm throwing out there. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you again. Thanks so much. Bye bye.